Greetings. Welcome to EDTV News Channel, the People's Channel. In this report, we'll have an update on the JOLYAN SILVERA murder case. And we all know by now that JOLYAN SILVERA is now charged with his wife drop out. Now, yesterday, the JCF came out and says Sashana Miller is a person of interest. And today, the attorneys representing Sashana Miller says their client is not a person of interest. Stay tuned for the full report. Blessings to all subscribers and viewers. If you're here for the first time, you can support the channel by like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Shout out to Nationwide News for this article. Now, people, we'll get into the update and break it down brick by brick. The headline reads, lawyers criticize JCF for naming woman as person of interest in SILVERA dropout case. Attorneys representing the woman named as person of interest in Melissa SILVERA dropout investigation have condemned the decision by the police to publish her name. The woman, Sashana Miller, was named in a public notice by the police on Thursday. But in a statement to the media, Ms. Miller's lawyers have described this decision as an act of intimidation. Sashana Miller is represented by Valerie Nita Robertson. Also named as members of her legal team are Kimberly Whitaker, Jeffrey Reed, and John Mark Reed. In a statement on Friday, the legal team says the action by the police have led to a defamatory portrayal of their client as a person of interest in an ongoing dropout investigation. According to the attorneys, Ms. Miller is not a person of interest. Want to hear that, people? Let me read it again. According to the attorneys, Ms. Miller is not a person of interest. They say this was confirmed by the police last week. So, people, we don't know who is speaking the truth. You get what I'm saying? Because the police come out yesterday and say Sashana Miller is a person of interest. And today, the attorneys came out and says their client is not a person of interest. They also said this was confirmed by the police last week. So that tell with people that the attorneys and the JCF was in dialogue over Sashana Miller as person of interest. Miller's legal team says by putting her name in the public domain as a person of interest, detectives have given the impression she is hiding. Now, people, when we listen to that last statement by the legal team, they say the police put Sashana Miller in the public domain as a person of interest. And detectives have given the public the impression that she is hiding. Now, if the police and the attorneys were in dialogue from last week, before the police came out yesterday and said she's a person of interest, that means, people, Sashana Miller and her attorneys would have visited the Jamaica Constabulary Force headquarters. But it seems to me like that didn't happen. The attorney says their client has faced undue intimidation and unwarranted speculation. They say the media attention generated by the press release from the JCF has had a negative effect on the personal and professional life of Sashana Miller. The legal team has threatened to utilize all legal avenues available to them to address what they describe as the damage caused by the unwarranted release of Ms. Miller's name as a person of interest. They say the public should respect the legal process and refrain from making baseless assumptions about their client's involvement. The lawyers close by saying Jamaica is not a police state. Therefore, intimidation and manipulation cannot be in the interest of justice. Now, people, this is mix-up time. Now, we don't know, people, who is right and who is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because the JCF came out Thursday and boldly says that Sashana Miller is a person of interest and she's supposed to turn herself in immediately. You know what I'm saying? Now today, we have a different version where the attorneys representing her says their client is not a person of interest. And this was confirmed by the JCF last week. That simply means, people, both the JCF and the attorneys were in dialogue over Sashana Miller as a person of interest. Now, the question is, people, would the JCF embarrass themselves like this? You know what I'm saying? Because this is a slam dunk, people. You know what I'm saying? On behalf of the attorneys representing Sashana Miller. Because you put out her name as a person of interest. And the attorney says it was confirmed by the police from last week that their client is not a person of interest. Now, people, there are many sides to every story. You know what I'm saying? Now, the police have to come out now and says, we never in dialogue with any attorney who representing Sashana Miller last week. And we don't know what them are talking about. She is still a person of interest. Now the police can come out and retract it and say, well, it was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Them can't say that because, as me said, that's a slam dunk lawsuit against the Jamaica Constabulary Force because her name is now out there in a high-profile murder case as a person of interest. You know what I'm saying? And that would create damage, you know what I'm saying, to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So the police now have to come out and make a statement, you know what I'm saying, and says, we never in contact with anyone, any lawyers representing Sashana Miller. And it still stands that she is a person of interest. You get what I'm saying, people? Because I don't think, the police would make a big mistake like that. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna put out a person of interest out there in the domain, you have to have concrete evidence. You know what I'm saying? That means you want to speak to this person who can help in the investigation. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that bothers me is that the attorneys representing Sashana Miller says it was confirmed by the police last week that their client is not a person of interest. That simply means they were in dialogue last week. You get what I'm saying, people? Last week is different from yesterday, Thursday. You know what I'm saying, people? And the attorneys came out today, Friday. You know what I'm saying, people? So we are waiting now, people. And the Jamaica Constabulary Force to come out with their statement. You know what I'm saying? And says, we make a mistake, you know what I'm saying, and we are sorry or whatever, or it still stands that Sashana Miller is a person of interest. Yes, so master people, please leave your comments in the comment section and tell me what you think. One aim, one God, one destiny. Walk good, talk good, live good, blessings.